Hello everyone, welcome back to the Budget Sportsman, and thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I want to take a look at a saddle hunting platform that might be right for you if you're just getting started out or if you're on a tight budget. And that platform would be the Hawk Apex saddle hunting platform. Now it would be really hard for me to look at this platform and do a review without also comparing it to a very similar platform, which I'm sure that Hawk copied, which is the Tethered Predator platform. Now you're going to notice as we go along, the size, shape, and even weight of these platforms are very, very similar. In fact, even the name Apex Predator, kind of makes you stop and think a little bit. I'm quite sure that somewhere in Hawk headquarters where they designed this Apex platform, they have a copy of the Tethered Predator platform and we're taking some serious notes. Before we get into this though, let me start right off with the price and why I say this is a budget-friendly platform. This platform for a long time I think was $180. Recently I saw that it was down $10. I think it was $169.99, $170. This platform I think is regular prices around $100. I actually bought it when it was on sale at Midway USA for just $60. And recently I've seen it on other websites for $80, $85, and $90 depending on where you find it. Even Amazon I think had it for $90. So we're talking about at least half, or the price that I paid, almost a third of the price of this platform. Now don't get me wrong, I'm going to say right up front that I've been using this platform all last season and I love this platform, but it is expensive. It's not really classified as budget friendly. So let's take a look at the two. Let's kind of compare them and let's see how much difference there really is for your money. All right, so let's start by talking about the size, dimensions, and shape of these two platforms. And you're going to see that they are very, very similar. I mean, they're actually almost identical. You're going to find that this top surface here is almost identical in width. You're going to find that the V bracket at the back there, or not the bracket, but the actual V of the platform there is nearly identical. The shape of them is nearly identical. Now there are a couple of differences that I should point out. Really the key difference here is that the Tethered Predator is cast aluminum. The platform is cast, the post is cast, even the Versa button is cast aluminum. Now the Hawk Apex platform, on the other hand, is welded aluminum. You're going to find that it's pretty much all tubing. You've got tubing here. All these pieces are tubing. It does have a flat lip that hangs out over, and everything is welded. So on the surface area, you are going to find that you've got some raised surfaces where the welds are. They're not real flush welds. And so that's one thing that you're going to notice. You're going to notice that the Versa button is bolted on rather than being cast into the platform. And not that that's a big deal, I'm just pointing out the differences. The Predator platform has some really nice serrations along the side of the platform. It does not have them across the front, but it does have them down here along the sides where you're going to be putting side pressure on the platform. You're going to be trying to move around the tree. You want to be stable for that shot. The Predator platform has those nice serrations. The Hawk platform, on the other hand, simply has a smooth piece of metal here. And you can see, looking from the side profile, it's very thin. And if you look at it from this profile, it's perfectly smooth. Now, in my previous testing, when in dry conditions, it has not yet posed as much of a problem as I thought it would be. I still got fairly good grip with a nice soft rubber soled boot, but I could see how maybe in wet conditions that it could become a little bit more of a problem. The other difference that I want to point out, which I've seen in some other videos, and I've already found to be a bit of a problem myself, is this standoff. Now, you can see on the Tethered Predator platform standoff here that it is basically flat across there, or maybe just a little bit curved this way. On the Hawk platform, on the other hand, they did something a little bit confusing. You can see that that platform, or that standoff, is actually curved this way. Now, I don't know if the designers of Hawk aren't familiar with trees and how they are rounded, but I don't quite understand why they did this. Now, obviously, it's going to hit these two center points before it's going to hit the outer points, and it's not going to give you some really great stability, and that's something I'm going to show you when we get over and put these on a tree. Now, let's talk about weight. All right, let's start with the Tethered Predator platform here on my scales, and it's weighing in at 47.5 ounces, or let's see, 2.95 pounds. 2.95 pounds, 47.5 ounces for the Predator platform. Next, the Hawk platform, and the Hawk platform weighs 3.15 pounds, or 50.5 ounces. So as you can see, these two platforms are about 3 ounces difference in the weight without strap, the Hawk platform being just slightly heavier. On the other hand, off camera, I weighed these platforms with straps and they actually came out to be within about 1 ounce of each other, because the Hawk platform has a strap that weighs 6 ounces while the Predator platform has a strap that weighs 8 ounces. Therefore, it makes up a few ounces of that difference. Of course, the strap is something that's very easy to change out. You could use AM steel or get a lighter strap. And so I wouldn't worry about that so much as I would about the weight of the platform. And the Predator platform is 3 ounces lighter. But overall, at coming in pretty close to 3 pounds, this really is not bad. All right, with all of those comparisons out of the way, let's go ahead and get this Hawk platform on a tree and show you how it performs. Before I do, there's one thing that's very important that I point out to you. Right here on the post, there's a warning label. That warning label gives you your typical stuff that you would expect to see. Maximum weight capacity, 300 pounds. Oh, minimum tree diameter, 9 inches. The very first time I got this platform out of the box, I didn't read that label, and I put it on a very small tree in the backyard, and I had some major issues. So I'm going to test that again today on smaller trees, larger trees, and see what the issue might be with using it on a smaller tree. I think you might be surprised. All right, the first tree that I'm going to try here is this small tree. I can just about wrap my hands around it. In its diameter, I'm going to say it's probably only 6 or 7 inches wide. That's under the Hawk's recommended tree minimum of 9 inches, but I'm going to try it and show you some of the problems. You're going to see here, you probably can't quite see from the angle, but only these 2 inner teeth are actually touching. The platform standoff here is curved the opposite direction of the tree. So I'm going to try to seat this down, cam it over. Let me do that again, make sure I get a good cam on it. There we go. That felt like it cammed pretty well. And now I'm going to climb up on it with my saddle. All right, so I'm up on the platform now. Everything feels pretty good, feels really solid. There's a little bit of flex as the top part wiggles back and forth a little bit, but nothing out of the ordinary, nothing that makes me feel unsafe or like I just don't have a firm foundation here. It feels really good. Here I am, my feet more flat on the platform. If you're more of the guy who wants to stand out on the edge, I'm gonna let myself down a little bit in my saddle. That doesn't feel too bad, although it is kind of a sharp point and these boots have softer soles. So that kind of becomes an issue. Let's check outside pressure here. I mean, I'm putting a good bit of pressure on there. Swinging around the tree here. Oh, there we go. All right. See, now we've got a problem. Now I put a lot of pressure on that, but that's one of the problems that I have with this platform on smaller trees. And I noticed right away is that on smaller trees, it does have problems handling side pressure. All right, so there you can see one of the issues that I found in my testing with the Hawk platform, and that is that on smaller trees, it simply does not handle side pressure very well. To be fair, I did have to put a lot of pressure onto that before it actually spun around that tree. But I've hunted smaller trees in the past out of my Predator platform and never had an issue with it moving at all. So that's one advantage that you're going to find with the Predator platform. All right, I'm back on the exact same tree with the tethered platform, and let's see if we can replicate the problem. Let me lower my tether here a little bit. You can see I'm putting an incredible amount of force on that platform and it is not budging. Okay, now let's try a tree that would be a little bit more typical to the size that most of us are going to hunt on a frequent basis. This may be a little bit bigger than some of us would hunt, but I think it's a fair size here. And I'm going to cam this over. I'm going to really make sure it's cammed over well. Then I'm going to climb on up. Again, it feels pretty good here. Now, I am finding right now that the strap seems to be flexing and the top bracket is coming away from the tree just a little bit. So I'm going to try to cam that down again. There we go. Give it a good toe kick. That feels better. All right. Now, let's find out about that side pressure. Seems pretty good. I'm going to go the other way because gravity's taking me away there. You can see I'm putting my left knee into the tree so I can get some leverage. and I'm trying to kick out that platform, and it is not going anywhere. So I would say that the side pressure issue with the Hawk platform is limited primarily to smaller trees. Now there's another thing I want to mention about the Hawk platform, and that is about being able to angle it down. If you've been following any of my saddle hunting content for a while, you probably know that I've been vocal about liking to angle my Predator platform down to take some of the relief off my ankles. Just like the Predator platform, the Hawk has a bolt here that you can screw out to get that downward angle. Now, off camera, I did measure the angle between the two, and the Hawk does not have quite as much angle as the Predator, but it's still enough to be able to get you a nice downward angle right there. So I really appreciate that about the Hawk, but there is one little problem with angling the platform down like this. Let me show you what it is. Okay, so obviously in order to get your platform to angle like this bolt right here has to be backed out as far as it will go. That's awesome, except there's one problem. When I go to fold my platform, it will not fold because the bolt is hitting the head of the Versa button. So really, you've got to back this bolt off probably about 3/4 of an inch to get it to fully fold 100% flat now. Now, an easy solution to that I think would be to take that bolt out and actually trim about 1/2 or 3/4 of an inch off of it. Now, obviously that's going to limit your travel in the opposite direction, but I just simply can't see that you're going to need that much travel in the opposite direction, because if you have that bolt turned all the way in the opposite direction, you get a platform that looks about like that. I don't think you're ever actually going to need a platform angled in that configuration. So I think you'd be perfectly fine to cut a little bit of that bolt off and be able to have a good downward angle on your platform and still be able to close your platform. All right, right before I left, I was telling you about this bolt. I went over, I trimmed it off, and now you can see probably that I have got this down at the max angle that it can, and now it folds up just nicely. I left plenty of bolt there to where I can get the platform easily back to level. That's even beyond a little bit of level there. That's probably maxed out, and that's about as far as it goes. That's beyond level. I hardly see myself ever needing to use that, so I think I still got plenty of bolt remaining. And I think that was a quick and easy modification that will improve this for my uses, because I like to have my platform angled down. Now, the second modification I did was to change out this V bracket. Now, if you are familiar with tethered Predator platforms, you know that just about every Predator platform is sent with 2 different V brackets. I happen to have my spare laying around, and I decided to put it on this platform to see if it would improve the side pressure on those smaller trees. So let's head back over to that small tree, put it back on the tree, and see if we have any improvement with this different V bracket. All right, so I'm back up on the platform now with the replacement standoff. Let's see how it does. Feels pretty good so far. I'm gonna let a little slack into my tether here so I can get a good side pressure. Feels pretty good. All right, I'm gonna do what I did with the other one, put my knee into the tree. All right, so as you can see there, that did not drastically improve the way the Hawk platform handled side pressure. It may have been microscopically improved, but that's pretty subjective, and it still kicked out around the side of the tree, which the Predator platform did not. The only other thing that I could conclude is that it must be something about the teeth on the base of the platform itself, and that must be what's allowing it to slip around the side of the tree. So what's my conclusion on the Hawk Apex platform? Well, let me say this. If you're in the market for what I consider to be probably the best platform on the market, the best that money can buy, then by all means take a look at the tethered Predator platform. There's just no question in my mind that it is the far superior product for reasons like a better standoff design, a better overall build quality, the ridges around the edge of the platform that are going to make sure you have great traction in any weather condition, things like the side pressure on any tree, the packability, the weight. It's just an awesome, awesome product. Again, far superior over the Hawk in my opinion. On the other hand, this channel is not about finding the best platform or the best gear that money can buy. We are all about finding gear that works on a budget that still gets the job done. And I really think that the Hawk Apex platform fits that description. As a matter of fact, I bought the platform with not very high hopes, and I was planning to do the review and then sell the platform. Actually, turns out I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, and I'm going to keep it around. That way I have a spare platform. I can use it to introduce hunters into the sport of saddle hunting, or even new hunters into the sport of hunting. And I think it's a solid platform. If you're somebody who maybe you want to do some presets, I think the Hawk Apex would be a fantastic option for you. Something that would be a little bit less risky to leave out in the woods if you want to do a preset throughout the season. So again, if you're on a budget, I think the Hawk Apex is an excellent option for you to consider. I do want to mention that while I was editing this video yesterday, I went back on Midway USA and I discovered that it is on sale again. So at the time of making this video, it is available for $60 on Midway USA. I'll leave a link down in the description, both to Midway and to Amazon, and you can check as prices fluctuate. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments about the Hawk Apex platform. And until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.